Welcome. You've got
Counterculture
with
Lujan.
You are listening to
Counterculture
with
Aaron Lujan.
This is called the Lujan virus.
We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots.
Protecting your kids from the indoctrination of the media.
I call on every man and woman of goodwill all over America today. Come back home. Come home, America.
Welcome. Today is September 22nd, 2020. You are listening to Counterculture with Aaron Lujan, where I cover the top news stories of the day. My top story today is out of Fox News, the treasonous Fox News. It's actually not my top news story. I'm going to call an audible right now. My top news story, and I don't have any notes, I'm going to go on the fly. Let me adjust my video camera. Newt Gingrich, the former Speaker of the House, was being interviewed on Fox News, and he was exposing the fact that George Soros is funding all of these Antifa, Marxist, left-wing anarchist groups that are destroying our once great American cities. And Fox News cut him off. They interrupted his rant and would not allow him to explain the truth. Not that Newt Gingrich is an angel. I am of the opinion that Newt Gingrich is a globalist, yet every broken clock will tell you the correct time once, or is it twice a day? I don't know. I went to Catholic grade school, guys, bear with me. But anyways, at least once a broken clock will tell you the wrong time. And Newt Gingrich exposed this very important fact, and it came out later. Some of my listeners actually brought me this information that the people behind Fox work for Soros directly. He's inside the State Department. His tentacles apparently are everywhere. So shame on Fox News. Not that I ever thought they were my friend, but I do believe that there's a lot of people, Johnny newcomers to the game, to the Great Awakening. And because Fox News does set itself apart from a lot of the other mainstream media outlets, and that it will say things that you don't normally hear, that they think that Fox is our friend. They are not our friend. They, for whatever reason, I think that there has money to do with it, will not allow this truth to be spoken. So that was actually my top news story. My real top news story was another Fox story. Pelosi won't rule out using impeachment as option to stop Trump Supreme Court pick. Quote, and I will quote Crazy Nancy, "When we weigh the equities of protecting our democracy, it requires us to use every arrow in our quiver." I warned about this a couple episodes ago, that we are in the midst of a constitutional crisis when you weaponize the impeachment process. The founders were very clear on the procedures in deploying impeachment, high crimes and misdemeanors. There was a very high bar that had to be crossed with, don't quote me on this, I'm not a constitutional attorney, but I think it's 2/3 of the Senate needs to vote to have the president impeached. There's a very high bar set, and it's reserved for very serious crimes. And the founders warned us that this would be a constitutional crisis if impeachment was used as a hammer, as a weapon. And Crazy Nancy is apparently willing to use it because we're in the midst of a national temper tantrum. I have a 2-year-old son. When he doesn't get his way, he's really cute though. He'll shrug his shoulders and he'll burrow his eyebrows, and then he'll just fall to the ground and just start smacking his mom and his sister and everything in his way. And I was witnessing this the other day. That's exactly what we're experiencing on a national level with all of these underdeveloped children who unfortunately came probably more than likely from broken families, who have been indoctrinated by the corporate mainstream media and Hollywood and rap music, and have been told that Trump, the orange man, is bad and you need to go destroy and steal things in order to fill that void in your heart. So we are witnessing the Nancy Pelosi, the congressional leader here, calling for a national temper tantrum and saying we will do impeachment 2.0 if we don't get our way. the president has a constitutional obligation, and the Democrats are on record for saying that the seat must be filled. That Joe Biden, even himself, I recently saw a video where he vowed his support for a full packed 9-seat Supreme Court bench. So if we're not going to, so apparently they're just going to change the story midway and say, well, Trump's in power, now we don't want to have a full court, we want to have it our way. These people, I think the reason why Trump is winning is because the people who used to vote Democrat aren't incredibly partisan. Those people are seeing the hypocrisy, are seeing the illogical fallacies, the inconsistencies. They're seeing just the hypocrisy, and they are voting for Trump not because they necessarily like the guy or think that he's perfect. In fact, I think a lot of Trump voters are a little bothered by him. I certainly was. I was a self-avowed never Trumper, but cannot morally in their own conscience go along with what the Democrats are saying on a daily basis. So yes, impeachment 2.0 is on the horizon. Life News, liberal media slams Amy Barrett because she's a devout Christian who's, quote, anti-abortion. So we've already been told, excuse me one second. Sorry guys, black coffee break. We've already been told by President Trump that he's going to appoint a woman. The front runner early on, it looks to be a woman by the name of Amy Barrett. She's a federal appeals court judge, I believe, that was put on the bench in the Trump administration just 3 years ago. She is already under preemptive attack by the corporate media. Devout Catholic, I believe, is a liberal dog whistle, to borrow a term from the left. They use to attack the right as anti-abortion. Pete Williams of NBC Today highlighted one of the recent attacks on Judge Barrett in I think it was a Senate hearing, and Dianne Feinstein is quoted as saying, "The conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you, and that's of concern." And Judge Barrett replied, "I would stress that my personal church affiliation or my religious belief would not bear in the discharge of my duties as a judge." And then Dianne Feinstein continues to attack, and she replies, "It's never appropriate for a judge to impose that judge's personal convictions, whether they derive from faith or anywhere else on the law." Ben Tracy's of CBS This Morning is quoted as saying, "The 48-year-old Barrett is a favorite of religious conservatives for her anti-abortion views. It's always about abortion. It always will be about abortion." I posted on my Facebook my opinion that the reason why we have these epic Supreme Court battles is because abortion is the holiest of sacraments amongst the demonic left. Yes, I'm just going to say it. We live in an Ephesians chapter 6 world. We don't battle against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and those in the spiritual realms and heavenly places. That human instruments are used to deploy the agenda of the spiritual realm. I know that sounds pretty crazy to my New Age friends. Holla at me. To my Christian friends, they understand what I'm saying. To those outside of those worlds, it probably sounds like nonsense. The message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. But what I think is happening here is that abortion is under attack. It's how the elite derive a lot of their power. I believe that they're cursed by Satan, and they are able to maintain their power so long as they continue human sacrifice. We've been sacrificing to Moloch for thousands of years. It's never ended. Today it's just, sanitized, if you will, and wrapped in bureaucracy, as opposed to the pyramids that were built by the Aztecs. But we're still sacrificing human children to the devil. And that is now under attack. And it's the reason why you have hundreds of people at Mitch McConnell's home. And it's the reason why I'm about to tell you my next article is so outrageous of what's happening. So what I gleaned from this article is that the left is already dog whistling to their sheep that get ready to attack Judge Amy Barrett. And I thought it was just a cool 4D chess move that Trump plays when he chose a woman, because he was anticipating that if he were to appoint a man like he did the last appointee, that there would be accusations of sexual assault. And shout out to the Babylon Bee for a hilarious article. Genius Trump appoints Joe Biden for Supreme Court justice pick so that the Democrats will accuse him of sexual assault. I thought that was awesome. PJ Media digs in a little deeper on this issue with an article titled Amy Coney Barrett Under Fire for Kingdom of God Comment. The Washington Post book editor Ron Charles and another leftist character, Lindy Lee, had something to say about her once Kingdom of God comment. And I'm going to read these tweets here for you in a moment. So apparently the judge had stated once in her career about she's building the kingdom of God. And this Washington Post character tweets, Amy Coney Barrett, the judge at the top of Trump's list to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, has said we should always remember that a legal career is but a means to an end, and that the end is building the kingdom of God. Lindy Lee, a Joe Biden delegate to the Democratic National Convention, former Princeton University class president. Yeah, it reminds me of all the cool kids who couldn't look me in the eye in high school because I was beneath them, because I was intellectually inferior. These are the people now in charge of the delegate process. It's funny what happens in 20 years. Amy Coney Barrett, Trump's top pick, believes a, quote, legal career is but a means to an end, and that end is building the kingdom of God. Ew. I'm a Christian. Yeah, right. But this is terrifying. Retweet if you care about the separation of church and state. Apparently, Lindy, your Princeton education didn't teach you that this notion of church and state was actually a letter between the founders, and it can be found nowhere in the Constitution. But we just keep repeating this lie about separation of church and state. It's church and state as somehow it's some codified rule, when in fact the monument, the cornerstone of the U.S. Constitution is free speech, and free speech came out of the heart of allowing people to worship according to their own conscience and to be able to worship freely or not have to worship as they're led. That's actually the true cornerstone, not this whitewashed rewriting of history about this notion of church and state. But I digress. Hashtag digress. It's the reason why I need a seatbelt in this chair, or a producer who can say, Aaron, shut up. Shut your mouth. I can scream now because my kids are at their homeschool event. I got the whole house to myself. Woo! Sorry, I'm getting loud. You're right. So I totally lost my train of thought, you guys. Oh, yes. So what does this idea of kingdom of God actually mean? Is it really terrifying, as Miss Lee purported? No, because if you look at Romans 14:17, Matthew 6:33, John 18:36, and actually understand the faith that you're attacking, we're called to build towards the kingdom of God, a coming kingdom, that when the rulers of this world and when these governments every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord, and these worldly governments will be dissolved in his light, that then the kingdom of God will rule on earth. It has nothing to do with a theocracy. I think the implication or the fear somehow is this boogeyman that these crazy Christians are going to establish this terrifying theocracy where they're going to make you not steal and not use the Lord's name in vain, as if that's also terrifying in and of itself. And take away your ability to crush the skulls of children. No. It's not about that, you guys. It's about building towards the kingdom of God, the coming kingdom. And I think in the context of what she was saying it was in light of Micah chapter 6, verse 8, which says, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God? She was referring more to the lifestyle. And she also made it very clear when she was responding to Dianne Feinstein. Is it Frankenstein? I don't know. I watched some movies when I was a kid of Frankenstein, and I see a resemblance. That she was saying, I'm not my personal faith convictions have no bearing on the bench. And if it were true, I'm sure these sleuths could dig through her legal reviews and her positions in the past and find an instance in which she was somehow establishing this terrifying theocracy. No. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. These are ruthless, wild attacks because abortion's on the table. Breitbart's got an article out, speaking of violence and wildness. Blue checks vow violence if Mitch McConnell tries to replace Ginsburg. Excuse me. So I'm going to read some of the tweets. The left is absolutely, completely unhinged. I posted this on my Facebook. It got a little bit of traction with my peeps. Hey, thanks, fam, for the support on Facebook. I really appreciate you guys. I know, like, my first year of doing it, nobody liked any of my posts. It was really, really lonely to be on Facebook. I had my doubts of just giving up. But the encouragement lately from some of my friends on Facebook has been very supportive. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new likes. We broke 100 followers on Facebook. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm happy about that. That happened last night. Reza Aslan, the militant atheist of CNN, the one who writes books denouncing Lord Jesus, had a tweet out. If they even try, all caps try, to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. And he spelled out the effing thing, but this is a family show, so I'm not going to use foul language. He later tweeted, over our dead bodies, period, literally. Literally. Remember when the lefts used to say, Trump is a Nazi? Literally. Bu Willeman, we're shutting this country down if Trump and McConnell try to ram through an appointment before the election. Laura Bassett, who deleted her tweet, twatted, if McConnell jams someone through, which he will, there will be riots. She followed up with, asterisk, more, bigger riots. A professor at the University of Waterloo tweeted, burn Congress down before letting Trump try to appoint anyone to SCOTUS. He then protected his account on Twitter. Of course. You scared, bruh? You mad, bruh? Andy No, who's always on the scene, is following some of these tweets. Canadian political science professor at the University of Waterloo. Did I just tweet that, guys? Sorry, I don't have a producer, so I'm a little discombobulated. Burn Congress down before letting Trump try to appoint anyone to SCOTUS. Marcus Carey, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a cool guy. He's got a blue check mark. Politics about to get really turned up. Turned. Is that even proper grammar? Turned up. Hey, mom, can you turn up the heater? And then we got Miranda Devine, member of the Wisconsin Ethics Commission. Hold on, I gotta click through here. What's going on? Retweeted a tweet. Mitch McConnell set the precedent. No Supreme Court vacancies filled in an election year. If he violates it, when Democrats control the Senate in the next Congress, we must abolish the filibuster and expand the Supreme Court, etc., etc. So you guys get the idea. We have a leftist elite, completely unhinged, threatening to burn the country down. Remember back in the old days of like 2016 when Michelle Obama, buries, his husband or his boyfriend or his wife? I don't know. When you're married to, when you have a fake marriage to a transgendered person, does that make them your husband or your wife? I don't know. Now you guys understand why I lost 120 friends on Facebook post 2016 election. One of my good friends, that was actually the straw, which she actually blocked me over me calling Michelle, man. Remember when she used to say, when they go low, we go high? Well, apparently we threw that out the window. And remember in 2016, love trumps hate? Well, apparently that didn't work. So they're just going to go to plan B and just hate. We're going to burn this bitch down. We going to burn it down, man. Let's burn it all down. No, you're having a temper tantrum. My 2-year-old son does that when he doesn't get his way. Okay? Act like an adult. Let's go through the legal, lawful, ethical, political process. We have a very strong system, the best that's ever been created in the history of civilization. If you have genuine grievances, let's have a free speech. Let's have a First Amendment. Let's have a free market economy of ideas. And if your ideas are good, they will rise to the top. Like cream rises to the top, or whatever that saying is. I don't know. So apparently their ideas are not good because they need to destroy things in order to get their way. Wah, wah, wah. Well, I got bad news for the left from Zero Hedge. Romney agrees to back Trump on Supreme Court pick. McConnell now has the votes to replace the notorious RBG. NOTOIUS. You just lay down slow. Biggie was the best lyricist in rap history. I was listening to Ready to Die the other day. Oh my gosh. Hip hop is a shadow of a shadow of what it used to be. Sorry guys, that has nothing to do with RBG. So Mitt Romney was kind of that swing vote. Remember he stabbed Trump in the back a couple big votes ago. Well, apparently he's on board, and apparently it looks like this is going to sail through. So I'm sorry, Democrats. I'm sorry, leftists. You're going to have to record yourself completely losing your minds again and scream, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. 2020 can't get worse than this. Oh my gosh." You're going to have to record more of those videos because you're in a corner. We have the votes. RBG will be replaced, and she's probably going to be replaced by a woman who's going to be a lot harder to be accused of sexual assault, and she's going to be a Christian or a Catholic, and she's going to be conservative, and she's going to oppose abortion. Buckle up, folks, because this is an Ephesians 6 world. These people, I think, are going to be good on their promise. They mean what they say when they say, let's burn this effing thing down. I mean, I am on guard. I am vigilant with these people. I do not trust these people. These people are dangerous, okay? Reza Aslan is a dangerous man. He's a cannibal. He was on CNN eating human flesh on national television. This is not a game, you guys. These people mean what they say when it comes to abortion. This is a holiest of sacraments with the demonic left. Historical precedent of election year nominations is that the Senate generally does not confirm an opposing party's nominee, but does confirm a nominee of its own, said Mitt Romney. Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado is also expected to vote to fill the seat, hashtag fill the seat. So yes, it is fight time. We already have the demonic left organizing in the front lawn of Mitch McConnell. Switching gears, we must switch gears. The Daily Mail has an article out. It's getting juicier. Names of every passenger to have flown on Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft to be revealed, sparking panic among the pedophile's wealthy friends. See, if you would have just acted like a decent human being and kept your zipper up, you wouldn't have to be freaking out, Prince Andrew. You wouldn't have to be freaking out, Bill Clinton, or Kevin Spacey, or Naomi Campbell, or Marco Zuckerberg. Hello, Mr. Zuckerberg here. You're in trouble, buddy, because you were on Lolita Express on the island, buddy. Naughty, you shouldn't have touched little girl, man. That's stupid. Don't do that. Don't. Oh, yes. So if I'm not on Facebook tomorrow, now you guys know why. BitChute.com/Aaron Lujan. In case I upset Mark Zuckerberg. 22 accounts, including human trafficking, aggravated rape, child abuse, neglect, forced labor, and prostitution, are on the Attorney General's table in the U.S. Virgin Islands. He subpoenaed the flight logs. Hashtag, we have the documents. What does Alex Jones say? The frogs are turning gay. We have the documents. I need to work on my Alex Jones impersonation. Spanning from 1998 until Jeffrey Epstein's death last year, the logs show all of his passengers. Oh, yes. Knocking the boots. Where's a good R. Kelly song when you need one? The Epic Times, kind of in a response to this wickedness, Trump administration awards over $100 million in grants to combat human trafficking. Fund services and programs tackling what is described as modern-day slavery, yes it is, provide assistance to trafficking victims across the United States, presented by Attorney General Bill Barr and Ivanka. Is it Ivanka or Ivana? Because one of them was his ex-wife and the other one was his daughter. The daughter presented this to states, local municipalities. Thank you, President Trump. That is the true crisis, not the scamdemic, not the plandemic of cooties 19. Oh, wear your mask, you're going to get cooties. No, the fact that we are finding 30 plus children in a trailer in Ohio, precious children being moved around the country as slaves. I cannot take the corporate media seriously when they ignore human trafficking and lie about cooties 19 numbers. Sorry guys, I'm an adult, okay? And I do my research, and so does apparently half of this country, and growing. And the Latinos in Florida. Florida's gonna go to Trump. We are gonna elect Trump again. He's gonna get more Supreme Court justices, you guys. All I say, go to prepsave.com and get prepared, because these people are angry. They're very angry, and they're unhinged right now. Switching gears, U.S., but it's kind of fun, right? It's fun to watch them completely unravel. It is. I know everyone's having fun. You guys, if you're a leftist, nobody is having more fun than us right now. I mean, it's so much fun to be supporting the president, to be winning. Remember when he said, "You're gonna get so tired. We're gonna be winning so much. You're gonna get tired of winning. It's gonna be huge. We're gonna win. We're gonna keep winning." He was right. We're just winning, and we're not, and we ain't gonna stop. What did Puff Daddy sing in the '90s? And it can't stop. Yeah, and it won't stop. DOJ names New York City, Portland, Seattle's anarchist jurisdictions that could lose federal funding. Yeah, the Department of Justice is called New York City, Portland, and Seattle anarchist jurisdictions. Yes, it is 2020, and I'm not Hugh Downs. This goes back to a September 2nd executive order where President Trump said, if you cannot contain the drama or your mama in your cities, we are going to pull federal funding real quick like. And of course, the PR is written by public relations experts. As a marketer, I'm in awe, because as a marketer, I know the truth. No, not as a marketer, I know the truth. That's actually the opposite. Most marketers lie. As a person who knows the truth and in marketing, I'll read the truth and then I'll read the response from the $5,000 suit PR firms who defend the corporate media, and they come out and say, this is a political stunt to punish democratic cities beset by crisis amid a deadly pandemic, and accused the Trump administration of attempting to distract from its inability to contain the spread of coronavirus. Well, it's like and then they go on to say what the Trump administration is engaging in is now more of what we've seen all along: shirking responsibility and placing blame elsewhere to cover its failure. You guys, the mayor, Tom Wheeler of Portland, stood down and blamed Trump. And then they join a letter saying the Trump administration is shirking responsibility and placing blame elsewhere, as if they don't see their own hypocrisy. It is mind-boggling. I think they're smart enough to know that they're hypocrites, but that they're such straight-faced liars, and that they're so bold in it. Like, they know that we could see the hypocrisy. They're literally blaming their own sins upon their enemies. And they engage in that tactic because it works. And they double down on it, and they do it over and over and over again. They blame other people for their failures and then issue a statement against the Trump administration for issuing a common sense executive order and say Trump's blaming elsewhere to cover his own failures. Newsflash, for all the still reasonable, sober-minded people that are left in the country, Donald Trump is not in charge of Portland, and he doesn't make municipal decisions. Tom Wheeler does. The mayor of New York, de Blasio, makes the decisions for New York. The mayor of Seattle makes decisions for Seattle. When your city is on fire and you've disarmed your police department, that is not the president's fault. And the president doesn't have an obligation to continue to send you money if you're not a good steward of that money. I would not continue to give my children an allowance if they were buying methamphetamines. It would make me a poor dad. And the federal government is behaving in a like manner. But like children, my 7-year-old daughter is, what, you hate me because I didn't give her candy? No, I don't think you should have candy at 10 in the morning. But we have serious mayors of New York, Seattle, and Portland saying, oh, you're trying to place blame on other people? Oh, because you're trying to distract us from your inability to spread Cooties 19? That's why you don't want to give us money? No, we don't want to give you money because your city's on fire. That's why. And you're not going to be a good steward of what we're giving you. And there's no, and you don't even, I don't even think there's a constitutional obligation to give you money to begin with. Rounding us out at 31 minutes, Zero Hedge, Facebook will restrict certain users if U.S. election gets extremely chaotic or violent. Facebook is planning to significantly curtail speech on its platform, echoing the internet blackouts utilized by authoritarian regimes like Iran, Venezuela, and elsewhere. And I'm going to read some of the public relations statements from Zuckerville. 1 second. So Facebook is preemptively getting in front of this and saying we're going to have chaos on the streets during election. I've been reporting on this nonstop, I think, on every podcast. And they came out in a interview with the Financial Times. Nick Clegg, company's head of global affairs. I'm not going to read the entire rant, but at one point he says, there are some break glass options available to us, referring to Facebook, if there really is an extremely chaotic and we're still violent set of circumstances. The Financial Times subtly points out concerns mount that even U.S. President Donald Trump himself could take to social media to contest the result or call for violent protests, potentially triggering a constitutional crisis. But Clegg admits, well, we've already censored in Venezuela and Iran because, quote, we have acted aggressively in other parts of the world where we think that there is real civic instability, and we obviously have the tools to do that. Again, Mr. Clegg added. Oh yeah, he's got the tools. He's got the tools. The company is employing a range of experts, including military planners, to help the company's leadership make the best decisions possible. Mark Clegg continues, quote, we've slightly reorganized things such that we have a fairly tight arrangement by which decisions are taken at different levels depending on the gravity of the controversy attached. The executive also said the amount of resources we are throwing at this is very considerable. They have a virtual war room dubbed Election Operations Center for monitoring, quote, suspicious activity and updating its voter information hub. This comes off the heels of Democrats like the Teen Vogue star Selena Gomez. She DM'd Mark Zuckerberg to ask him, please stop the hate, misinformation, racism, and bigotry, please. As if Selena Gomez is an independent political thought leader, right? Yeah, so they're gearing to not make the mistake they made in 2016, you guys. I need to get in the business of selling seatbelts because we all need to buckle up. And I'm going to go ahead and end with some comedy. You guys are going to really like this. This is comedy gold. Let's give it a listen.
Are you sick and tired of your calm, peaceful life? Are you sleeping too well at night? Is your city too safe? Well, not anymore. Introducing Democrats. Politicians so incompetent, they'll fill your neighborhood with riots, looting, rampant violence, and even homelessness. The secret is a special blend of corruption and good old-fashioned stupidity. No more pesky law and order. When Democrats are in charge, nobody's safe. Simply vote for Democrats, sit back, and watch your neighborhood burn to the ground. But wait, vote for Democrats now, and they'll include rolling blackouts, election fraud, cancel culture, taxes, and more taxes. Democrats, bringing chaos right to your front door.
And if you call within the next 10 minutes, we'll throw in a Bill Clinton cigar. I don't know, guys. I didn't prepare for my joke. Sorry. Anyways, I hope that you guys thought that was funny. This was episode 62 of Counterculture, the top news for September 22nd. SCOTUS war launches, elites nearing exposure, and Facebook preps the war room. Everything is broadcast on your favorite podcast players: Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Looney Tunes. The videos are on bitshoot.com/Aaron Lujan. And of course, everything is housed at aaronlujan.com. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, text a friend. Tell them there's a short brown dude on the internet that needs people to pay attention to him. Thank you guys. Take care.